Hi, today I'm going to talk about being willing to do something that others can't do or are unwilling to do. Hi, my name is Luis Escobar. I'm a Simpsons storyboard artist. I've been working on the show for 19 years now. And I just wanted to point something out to everybody that I've noticed. And this is something that happens in just about every industry. The art industry is no exception, and that is that the job is perceived as work. It's a job, right? And because it's a job, there are things that we don't. We get our job done, then we go home, and we just want to relax, and we want nothing to do with our job. So an artist draws all day, 8 hours a day, and then he goes home and he just wants to relax, right? He doesn't want to draw or anything. That's okay. That's perfectly fine. The thing is that sometimes an artist is given an opportunity within work or freelance or whatever to do something that might be more work, might be a pain in the neck, something that they just don't want to do, right? But it's something necessary that whoever's giving you the job is really, really counting on it getting done. So they go to you and you turn it down. What does that do to you? Well, you're not the go-to person after that. But had you said yes and accepted the job, then more likely your perceived value from that person would have gone up. Okay, so I'm going to show you an example from my life that kind of fits this from both sides. When I turned down a job and when I didn't. And it all kind of happened around the same time. And this happened during the Simpsons movie. So during the Simpsons movie, there was a lot of work, a ton of work to be done on the movie. In particular, there was a specific amount of work that had to be done at the Fox lot. And at the Fox lot, what ended up happening was the management, the production, would come around and ask artists at the studio, can you go work this weekend at the Fox lot? Can you go work this weekend at the Fox lot? Can you go work this weekend at the Fox lot? Now, just imagine the artists. We were all overworked already because the production was very heavy. And asking us to work some more, we needed a break. Everybody wanted a break. Everybody needed like a little bit of rest. They wanted their weekend, right? So when it came up to me and they asked me about it, I said yes. So I was at the Fox lot like on the weekends working. Because I thought it was a good opportunity and it was a good place to be. And it turns out that I was right. And the perceived value that gave me, because I eventually ended up working just at the Fox lot. I spent all my time on the movie at the Fox lot among all the other people who had agreed to come to the Fox lot on the weekends. And we all kind of got migrated and placed at the Fox lot. And it was a very heavy-duty experience. It's a story for another time. But needless to say that the perceived value of every artist that was at the Fox lot increased, and it was much easier for us to be the go-to people after that than it was for all the other artists that refused. Now here's the negative side to that. Here's the opposite thing. While I was at the show, while I was working at the lot, it was a very intense, very heavy-duty experience. This meant that I didn't have any free time. It meant that I had to stay there, and I had no control over when I would leave and all this other stuff. Well, I got a phone call from one of my art directors for the comic books that I worked on. I've been doing comic books on the side for about 12 years. Well, this art director calls me up and asks me to do a freelance job while I was at the Fox lot, having no life and no time. And he was desperate, okay? And I heard it in his voice, and he was begging me to take the work. I could not do it, because if he had given me the work, there was no way that I could possibly meet the deadline. There was no way that I could do the work when he wanted it to be done. And I tried to tell him that I wasn't in a situation where I could actually help him out. Well, that didn't go off very well with him. So, needless to say, because I didn't accept this job, that heavy-duty job that nobody wanted to do, because apparently nobody did, because everybody was working on the Simpsons movie, and nobody could do it. Well, I haven't been called back by him in, what, the 5 years, 6 years that the movie's been out? I mean, so you take the opportunities that you can get. Don't refuse work just because you don't want to do it. I ended up refusing it because it wasn't humanly possible for me to do it. But I wasn't able to convince him. But I did take the work that nobody else wanted to do, which is go to the Fox lot. Like, I wasn't the only person that was asked. Many people were asked. I took the work. Nobody else did. And it benefited me. And it benefited everybody else that worked in that at the Fox lot at the time and accepted that. So I recommend being willing to do what others are unwilling to do, and being willing to do what others cannot do. And that will increase your value as an artist, your perceived value as an artist, and will secure more work in the future. All right, I hope this helps. Please leave a comment if this does, and if you could also opt into my email newsletter. You're gonna get more of this type of talk, a little bit more behind the scenes stuff sometimes, well, most of the time actually. So go ahead and sign up. You won't regret it, and I'll see you next week.